I don't really want to say much. I had an idea in mind whenever I first started recording just now, but you ever kind of just lost track of stuff? Not of who you are, because I know who I am. I'm a guy. I was a single dad. Whenever my daughter was 9 months old, my son was 4. I became a single dad. Picked up some physics books. Got those ideas to the head of physics at Fresno State after a while. They became real physics, but somehow my name didn't get put on my own ideas. Um, and well, that's called plagiarism. Um, I actually found some psychology paperwork for outline of a class, and it said psychology itself is actually physics, physical reality, and astrological science. Um, Being we're just like a rock out in space, that would also mean logical science. Like they're not being ahead of physics there. Um, at the physics department at Fresno State. And bigger than that science, like say if they happen to call the police and the Fresno PD has a satellite office right there at Fresno State, instead of taking care of the matter that was at hand, actually kicking me off the campus. Now, we also have stuff in history that is supposed to be historically correct. That's why it's called history, not his story, which is funny. I like that. Um, it's just a rap reference. Some won't understand, some will. His story. I asked my son, could it be possible that, the Caballeros gave us our cowboy history? I don't recall a whole lot of ranchers over across the pond there. I do recall them having some big old horses like the ones, the Budweiser horse. I can't even remember what those are called. I also recall, wild horses here in the United States. Like I was in Mesquite, Nevada, um, doing some work whenever I was a teenager. It was a long day. I drove my Volkswagen out to Mesquite from Las Vegas. I worked, I don't know how many hours. Um, I got there right around sun up, I believe. Checked the place out with he's my second cousin. He, yeah, David Crydale, super awesome guy. But we worked, I don't know, 12-hour day, 14-hour day. It was just a long day. And around 10 o'clock when we were done, I went looking for something to eat. There's a one light town, not a one horse town. It was one light town. Because as I'm going to look for something to eat, the streets flooded with wild horses. And not a single one touched my Volkswagen Bug. Now, whenever I'm driving back into Las Vegas the next night, after another full day's work, because we did some carpet, and it was like a hotel out there. And my car started sputtering and spit it overheated. It was a Volkswagen, kind of known for that. They're for shorter distance trips, and you're not supposed to push them to their 70, 75. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to keep them right around 55. Sounds like a typical speed for a Volkswagen. No? Okay. Um, and I was trying to push it because that's what I was used to. And it had the original gearing in it. It didn't have the bigger gears for say Bajas, stuff like that. Quick gear at the bottom, long gear at the end, for just going. But yeah, I had a Baja that ended up running the Baja 500 too. It got towed. I don't know. I bought it from some guys, some super awesome guys in Las Vegas. But I don't know. It was made out of 2 or 3 different cars, and the one it was registered for, they found out in the desert, I guess. So the story goes. But the car got towed. Ended up running the Baja 500. True story. It's cool. It was like Superman blue. Had a couple bullet holes in it. I don't know. But yeah, they found this car out in the desert and put a couple cars together and gave them parts of one, not parts of the other. It had, paperwork from one car, not paperwork from another car. And yeah, so that was my car. But whenever I got back to Vegas, in this little Volkswagen that was, lowered after my car got towed. Or was it before? I don't remember. It was before or after. It was after. Actually, I could have been 18 at this time. It was one of the longest work days I ever had. But Officer Fishback, he was oddly cool to me. Like, I don't know. Stop me for random things. Like, hey, there's beer cans in the back of your truck. A cop would give you a hard time if they saw beer cans in the back of your truck. And I'd be like, yo, that's not illegal. There are beer cans in the back of my truck. Yeah, I'm underage, but, he knew me. He knew me. And he always watched out for me, but he gave the kids that were going to school a harder time than me. He just knew I always worked. That's how he knew me. And, but he, I've been driving down the freeway for a good 15, 20 miles, no lights, and he followed me home. And once I got home, he just kind of went away. That's how police used to be to a lot of people. And then one day I ended up here in Fresno, California, and all of a sudden, because I was brown, had a shaved head, I was a bad guy. Now, I'm growing my hair back, but with hair like this, sometimes you can't even get hired because you got crazy hair. And, look at that. I got facial hair too, but it doesn't grow in very thick. Does that make me a bad guy? No. But I have gotten physics to Fresno State. And, I have learned some different laws to physics and art and this and that. Like, there's laws to poetry or rules to poetry. And there's all kinds of different rules. But for plagiarism, even in physics, if you use somebody's ideas for historical correctness, obviously, there are rules. Like, where did the cowboy culture come from? Was it the caballeros? Did a bunch of guys with wagons bring cows over? Or were they ox? Or were they the buffaloes? Or, where'd the cows come from? Where did the cowboy culture in the United States come from? Could it have come from Mexico? Could I have possibly gotten physics to Fresno State? Would that be okay for proper American United States of these America's history? Actually, I think it would be very proper and appropriate, as history is supposed to be historically correct. But yeah, that's just me. Hi. Again, I'm Tony. Peace.